Here is a full, long, emotional story structured for a 15-minute YouTube video, with Christian names, a powerful hook, smooth pacing, depth, and an inspiring ending. No chapters, no bullet points, plain paragraphs only. A single dad janitor covered the CEO's mouth and whispered, "Don't go inside." The moment the elevator doors slid open, Daniel Pierce's heart began to pound so hard he feared the woman beside him could hear it. Alexandra Hayes, the youngest CEO in the company's history, stepped forward confidently, heels clicking like she owned every inch of the marble floor. But as she approached the door to her office, Daniel did the unthinkable. He rushed forward, grabbed her wrist gently, and covered her mouth with his trembling hand. "Don't go inside," he whispered, his voice shredded with panic. Alexandra froze, shock in her wide blue eyes. No one had ever touched her like that. No one dared. But Daniel wasn't thinking about consequences. He wasn't thinking about himself, his job, or the humiliation that might follow. He was thinking about his daughter. 3 hours earlier, Daniel had been mopping the quiet halls of the 19th floor. The night shift always suited him: less noise, fewer eyes, fewer reminders that he was a janitor in the same building where he once dreamed of becoming an engineer before life crushed him under medical bills and responsibilities. His daughter, Lily, needed more care than most kids. Since his wife passed, Daniel had worked double shifts to keep her treatments going. At 1 a.m., his phone buzzed with a message from Lily. "Daddy, I think someone is in your office." His office was a small cleaning supply room on the 11th floor. Terrified, Daniel ran downstairs. When he pushed the door open, a shadowy figure slipped out the back emergency exit. Inside, he found wires, a toolkit, and a device that looked like it came straight out of a movie. Something was being planted. Something bad. The next morning, security brushed him off. "Probably a prank," they said. "Just do your job." But Daniel knew. The device was not a prank. And it wasn't meant for him. It was meant for the CEO. So when Alexandra stepped into the office hallway with confident strides and a cup of coffee, he reacted purely from instinct. Her eyes widened as she processed the fear in his face. She pushed his hand away but didn't yell. Something about Daniel's trembling, desperate expression told her this wasn't madness. "What's inside?" she whispered sharply. Daniel swallowed. "A device. Someone was in your office last night. Security didn't believe me. But I think it's dangerous. Please. Let me check first." Alexandra had always been a woman of logic and control, but something in Daniel's voice made her step back. She nodded once. "Do it." Daniel opened the door a crack. His breath hitched. Inside, under her desk, blinking faintly, was something wired and waiting. He slammed the door shut. "There's something there," he whispered. "Something that can hurt you." Alexandra's face turned pale. She immediately called security, but Daniel heard the hesitation in her voice. No one moved. The guards looked at each other, confused, careless, believing it was another false alarm. But Alexandra didn't ignore the look on Daniel's face this time. "Show me," she said quietly. When security finally took the situation seriously, the bomb squad confirmed Daniel's worst fear: it was an explosive. Small, controlled, targeted. The type designed for personal attacks, not random destruction. The CEO stared at Daniel, her voice trembling for the first time in years. "You saved my life." But the ordeal wasn't over. Investigators asked question after question. Why had Daniel seen the intruder? Why was he on that floor? How did he know to look? The more he explained, the more suspicious he looked. A single janitor with financial struggles, an easy scapegoat. Whispers began circling the company. What if he planted it? What if he wanted attention? What if this was all planned? Daniel could feel everything falling apart. He wasn't just fighting for his job, he was fighting to keep custody of Lily, to prove he wasn't dangerous. But something unexpected happened. Alexandra defended him. Every single time. She stood beside him during statements. She vouched for his character. She investigated with her own resources. She even visited Lily, bringing her coloring books and asking gently about what she saw that night. The more she learned about Daniel's life, the more she realized how much he had endured alone, widowed, overworked, raising a child with medical needs, and still managing to show kindness where others would have grown bitter. Eventually, investigators uncovered the truth. The attempt wasn't random. It was orchestrated by a disgruntled former board member who wanted Alexandra out of the company. The intruder had broken in through an unmonitored stairwell and chosen the janitor's room as a hiding spot, never realizing Daniel's daughter might notice. When Alexandra received the news, she didn't call the board. She didn't call security. She called Daniel. "You saved my life," she said quietly over the phone. "And now, I want to help save yours." Daniel didn't understand. Not until she came to the janitor's closet where he worked and handed him a folder. Inside was a scholarship for him. Engineering courses. Fully paid. Flexible hours. A job position waiting for him once he completed them. She also arranged full medical coverage for Lily through the company's Emergency Family Support Fund. Tears filled Daniel's eyes. Why would you do this for us?" Alexandra smiled softly, not the cold, fierce CEO smile everyone knew, but something warm, real. "Because the world needs people like you," she said. "People who act not for reward, but because it's right." Years later, Daniel stood in a suit instead of a janitor's uniform, presenting his first patented safety device to the board. Lily, now healthy, sat in the front row cheering. Alexandra stood in the back, arms folded, proud. The man who once scrubbed floors now designed systems to protect buildings, offices, and the people in them. All because he once had the courage to stop a CEO from opening a door. And because kindness, real, selfless kindness, has the power to change lives in ways no one expects. The message of their story echoed through everyone who heard it. You never know how powerful one brave moment can be, or how far a single act of humanity can reach.